Theo has made such strides lately?
Theo's doing a good job of winning on his routes and then really finishing through the catch. And that was something earlier in the year that we really wanted to focus on with him and make sure that he was in a position to not only, be open, but when the ball finds him, make the play. And he's done a really good job of that these past couple of weeks.
How did he deal with the drops when he was having some struggles with that?
Yeah, just kept working. Was able to kind of go and remember the player that he is, the reasons why he's here and the reasons why he's been, put in these situations. So I think a lot of times it can get tricky, especially in the climate we're in terms of, you go on social media and it's easy to get lost in that stuff. It's easy to lose sight of who you are and easy to lose sight of really the type of player you are. And he's done a really good job of really focusing in on his details and just remembering who he is.
What does getting Dart back do for you guys?
Yeah, being able to, he's cleared and we're going to make sure we get him ready to go. And he's a good player. He's done a lot of good things. He can extend plays. Adds a little bit of a different element when he's out there in terms of his athletic ability and play extension. But yeah, it's always good to get our guys back.
For you, what's it like working with him? I don't know first of all, how much did you work? I know you were tight ends, but did you really work a lot with Dart before you came OC at all? Or
I was focused on making sure those tight ends were playing well. Sure. So other than just the casual conversations, there wasn't much working with him, I would say. But being able to get him or get to know him better and how he sees the game, how he processes, what he likes, things along those lines, it's been really good. He's a really smart player, really instinctive, sees the field really well. So it's been cool.
I was just going to ask, what's it been like working with him? I know he hasn't been cleared, but just being with him in meetings, what's it been like just seeing how he sees the game and learning with him and working with him now?
Yeah, with young quarterbacks in particular, there's a lot of different things that different quirks, if you will, as to how they see it, what they like, when they like things. So again, it's like getting to know somebody and understanding kind of what his go-tos are. And again, he's a hell of a player and he's done a great job of making plays for us. And we need to keep putting him in positions to do so.
How much do you, coming off a concussion, have to be in his ear, say, hey, get down, get out of bounds, let's try to avoid taking some of these big hits?
You know what? I think that's a big part of playing quarterback in this league, especially starting quarterbacks, especially guys that have his mobility, his mindset, is really understanding the value of being available, and you're never going to take that mindset away from him, and that's a main reason as to why he is who he is, but being able to understand when you need to put the cape on and when it's okay to go ahead and slide. So again, I think that's part of the process for these younger quarterbacks coming into the league is just understanding, you always have that mindset of, I'm going to do everything I can to go get that last yard. Well, a yard with 12 minutes to go in the first quarter is a little bit different than, a yard to go with, 10 seconds to go in the game. So being able to have some situational awareness there and understand when we need him to put the cape on and when he needs to protect himself.
Any familiarity with you going up against the defense that you were going to see on Monday night?
A little bit. Spent a couple years there with Mike, and a couple years with him in Houston and played against him, called plays against him. But yeah, so there's some familiarity with the scheme, with the players, obviously with Harold and some of those guys that he's got. But yeah, there's some familiarity.
These past 2 games, you guys have been really committed to the run, and even the box score stats might not even jump out. What has been behind that? Why has that been such an emphasis for you guys?
Really leaning on our offensive line. They're doing a really good job of keeping us clean and making sure that we're able to be efficient in the run game. And in doing so, it's been able to open up some different opportunities for us in the pass game and really trying to tie all that together. So obviously Jameis did a great job last week of being able to go and make some explosive plays there for us, particularly in the play action game. and our ability to run the ball effectively and willingness to do so, I think has opened some of that up.
When you guys pull out the bag of tricks like you did, what do you think that kind of message sends to your players?
That there's a good play that's going to score points. We're going to call it, Big thing learned a long time ago is just being able to trust your players. I don't think anybody quite saw Jameis's touchdown ending up the way that it did, but when the ball was in the air and saw the matchup, there was no panic from anybody on the sideline. There's multiple examples I'm sure you guys remember during camp of him going and shaking and stiff arming and doing all that, and everyone had a good laugh about it. But the way that play finished didn't really surprise me. We've seen it. We saw it in Buffalo. We saw it in training camp. And it's just really our ability to trust our players. So their ability to go ahead and execute throughout the week during practice when we call those plays gives you a lot of confidence to be able to go and call that in a game and know something good's going to happen.
How did you land on those plays last week? Is it something you during the week, went back and found?
I think collectively, as you're going through it, you see opportunities that come up. Hey, this marries with something we've done. This looks like something we've done in the past or earlier in the game. The way they run a certain scheme may lend themselves to be exposed in a certain situation. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. But those were two that we liked going into the game, and they both hit for us.
Okay, a couple more. Mike's calling the plays, but so that last sequence there, you're down by the goal line late in regulation. Just take me through what you're hearing on the headsets, what your thought was on just the overall approach there.
Yeah. Obviously, had the first down, we had the good run to get us to the 2. We ended up calling the action on second down. Thought it was a good play. Thought we just missed the throw. Third and goal from the 2, figuring we have 4 downs to go and win it and essentially end the game. Aiden made a great play, jumped the count. Wasn't expecting losing 4 yards on that, and at that point in time, felt like we still had a good play to be able to go and put the dagger in them. And just unfortunately, we weren't able to come up with the ball.
You guys seem to have that thought process on third down a lot. Like, you're going to go for it on fourth. Let's just get yards on third down, run it, and at least give us a chance to give us maybe both options on fourth down. How much is that what you guys are thinking behind it? And take us through what your thought process is.
Yeah, there's always certain things, where you're at in the field, how the game's going, how we're playing up front, how the quarterback's playing. You have no one, you need to grab it. There you go. So I think there's a lot that goes into it. And again, our ability to effectively run the football, keeps those opportunities open for us. And one of the luxuries of having the play caller be the ultimate decision maker is that he knows in his head, hey, if I get it to this down a distance, we're going for it. So it definitely allows a little bit more freedom there with the second and third down calls, knowing that I got to get it to this number in order to go for it. So, again, our guys have done a really good job. I think we had a 3rd and 4 that went for 8 last week. And the other thing it does, too, is it keeps the defense honest. Typically when you get into those third down situations, you're seeing a bunch of exotic fronts, multiple blitzers, things along those lines that may not be the most sound versus a simple run. And so you're giving them something to think about also as they're putting their third down package together.